it to be Speed, and it just is not the same vibe. And I really wanted it to be good. Like, look at Mel Gibson and that glorious moustache. Like, how could you not want this film to be good? Here's our ex-hacker, who I can't get out of my mind that he's just Johnny Drama. Like, he plays Johnny Drama in it, but he's forced to break into a high-level bank institution where another man is trying to penetrate the booby-trapped chair. So Kevin, unfortunately, is just going about his day-to-day life. He's working as a tech IT support guy and sort of dealing with a marriage that's not really going too well. They're sort of on the rocks. And as he's going about his day-to-day life, he unfortunately gets called into work, which happens to be his daughter's birthday, and he sits down on this chair that's been booby-trapped to explode. And it all revolves around that one area. I enjoyed the first initial sort of setup where he was just going about day-to-day life, and when he actually does sit on the chair, like, I enjoyed that little interaction between him and the mysterious sort of caller who's set up all of this to sort of blow up if he moves, so it's on a hair trigger. And I like the first initial like twists and turns where he actually does have to hack in, and you get to see the guy on the other end at the bank sort of stressing because he's nowhere near the level of Johnny Drama or Kevin. But like as the movie goes on, our sort of villain is it just goes on and on. Like there's non-stop of him just talking and rambling, and it's just this idealistic sort of stuff that doesn't really play into anything. Like they should have been delving into him, like why he wants it, and like obviously he knows all the stuff about Kevin and where all his family is, and he knows how to just sort of like push his buttons. And there's a little bit twists and turns. Like there's a couple of people that come in, and there's nothing that really happens massively in the building. Like one of the bombs does go off. And I did like the sort of the person who it was, although it was predictable towards the end. Initially, I didn't see it coming, but unfortunately it didn't have the payoff that it needed to be. But Mel Gibson is sort of like he's past his prime as a Bond detective, and he's sort of like, doesn't really believe what the news are portraying or what the captain's doing. The captain really has nothing to do in this film. Like she literally just sort of stands there, chews gum, and sort of pretends to be important. Like she's a fairly established actor where she's really given nothing to do besides sort of stand around in those scenes, which is a missed opportunity for them. Like they should have delved a little bit more into obviously them dealing with it and sort of trying to piece together everything, where they just went, yep, this is it, this is the guy, and let's prosecute him. Where the only person that did believe him was like Mel Gibson's character, and like his offsider, which is unfortunately I just saw him from My Name Is Earl, like Crabman, where I just couldn't get that out of my mind. Like this whole film unfortunately just misses the mark. After the first initial like reasonable setup, it just does not have the high impact that you're looking for. Like they're even throwing random emojis on this computer screen while the villain is trying to like bait Kevin into doing the things that he wants. But like as the climax sort of builds and Mel Gibson and his offside have to like sneak into the building, where the villain knew everything that was going on, but as they're sneaking in, like he just all of a sudden doesn't know where these guys are, or like them sneaking in. It just doesn't have that payoff that I was looking for. And the final like fight scene is just ridiculous in terms of it was just poorly executed. There was no emotional connection between any of the characters. Like the film was actually shot reasonably well. Like technically there's nothing really outstanding about it, and there's no real glaring obvious sort of mistakes that they've made. Like it's reasonably textbook in terms of how they've shot it, but just the portrayal and the story just don't really get there, and the characters don't really have that emotional stuff that they need to do. Like I wish these films would stop portraying hackers in this light of like how quickly they can do it, or if they put a USB in all of a sudden they've got some program that they've designed. Like it's very cliche in terms of how it goes along. But I really did like Mel Gibson's character, even though he was past his prime as the bomb defusal. But the glorious moustache, like I would have liked him to have a little bit more gruffness to him and be like, this is how it's going to be, and go a little bit rogue. But that didn't, like, would have helped me for this movie, but I don't think that would have saved it whatsoever. So out of 5, it's going to get 1.5, and it only gets that half mark because of Mel Gibson's like glorious moustache. So let me know if you've seen it, or if you're going to see it, and yeah, you know what to do. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.